What is up, all my good friendos and friendettes? How we all doing this evening or morning, depending on when you're watching this? It's Topical Tuesday. Topical Tuesday is just kind of where I sit down and fucking ramble about bullshit on Twitter. And by Twitter, obviously I mean Reddit. My brain is fried. Listen, fellers. Listen, fellers. We're just probably going to be talking about Jumpstart this week. I mean, that's the word on the street. Let's see what the top posts of the week are. I am sick of veterans on Fresh Start. What did I say? So let's take a look here. Rent. He's renting. Rent. I am a returning player. I want to learn raids, but all I see is EXP fail or kick, level 2 set character lobbies, GTFO the server, and player 18 character main roster. This is to save the game, bring new players in. If you are too lazy to teach, stay at normal server, gatekeep the fuck out of everyone. You are destroying your own favorite game. I mean, yeah. This is kind of retarded. Excuse my language. It's kind of stupid. Obviously, I made a character on Fresh Start, just for fun, or Jumpstart. I'm not playing it seriously at all. I'm just going to use it as like another factory when it eventually gets merged in with NA West, but I did do my raids. I did clown with some friends, and then I pugged Brill 1-2. I joined a group, and there was this one man, this one sharpshooter who just started flaming the two people who obviously didn't know what they were doing. And, we all just kind of told him to shut the fuck up, and then I explained how to do the things. So if you see people being dickheads, just tell them to shut the fuck up and be nice. Like, they don't have to be nice, you can just get rid of them, but you be nice to the newkokos. I mean, shit, man. I know it's, like, uncomfortable to, like, speak up for other people, but it's just the right thing to do, in my opinion. Anyways. Us vets are sick of these people as well. Yeah, I mean, it takes a certain kind of person to have to do that. Because, like, obviously you have to have something seriously wrong going on in your life to kind of act like that to other people over a video game. It's like basic humanity shit, man. It sucks. But it is what it is. And this is not even like item level gatekeeping. This is just straight up new server, new players, new server designed for new players. Older people are coming back and then getting mad at the new players for not knowing things that they could have had no way of knowing. And it's even doubly worse because they changed the gate system in Broshaza recently, so there was the newkoko who actually had watched the video for Gate 2, and then Gate 2 was different from the Gate 2 in-game, and yeah. Confusing. Was confusing to explain to the poor guy. We got it in the end, but still. Interesting people. I made a party clearly stating it is a learning party, as I, returning player, never done Vaulton, with similar experienced friends. After losing to Gate 1 a couple times, the Deathblade complains of our vets, goes AFK, forcing us to quit. Yeah, I think people who AFK or Alt F4 out of raids after they vote to quit and the majority votes no. Obviously, there's a difference between being jailed in a group where you should freely be able to Alt F4, but if you're just throwing a little tantrum fit because people wiped, and it's like you could clearly clear it, just suck it the fuck up, man. I don't know. I'm so tired of people being babies over tiny little things. Tiny inconveniences, man. It's supposed to be a game, it's not that big of a deal. And I get it. People are always going to use the argument where it's like, well, just because it's a game doesn't mean I want to play with bad shitters. It's like, I don't know, man. If you care that much, just find friends. But you probably don't have friends because nobody wants to be your friend because you're a dickhead. So, I wish they did not give power passes to players that played in the last 30 days. If it was the case, probably no existing players will bother to make into the roster. I can see the argument for and against it. I don't think it's a bad thing to have veteran players playing with their friends, because I know a lot of people's friends came back, started on Jumpstart servers, and they want to play with their friends, obviously. Who doesn't want to play a game with their friend? You know what I mean? But obviously it can have downsides as well as upsides. Oh, the Blooming Makoko event just started, so I guess I'll do this while I continue rambling about whatever I was going on about. Oh, the Power Pass. So the Power Pass for Jumpstart servers and returning players getting the Power Pass, I think it's fine. Obviously, there's pros and cons for it, but I think the pros outweigh the cons because you're going to play the game longer if you have people to play it with. That's just sort of the nature of things, especially video games. Unless you're like a total antisocial person who hates, like, humans and has no friends. But even if that's the case, you should still be trying to meet people in the game while you are, you know, playing it with your friend. If you start the game with a friend. You know, join a guild, branch out. It's an MMO, man. I know a lot of people have a big issue with this game, and I definitely would be in the same boat if I didn't have the guild Discord that I was in. It just wouldn't be an enjoyable time. Having the people to talk to about the game, having the people to play with the game. You know what I mean? It's just... it's an MMO, man. It's like if you tried to play WoW completely solo. That would be miserable. Like, can you do it? Yeah, sure, but is it gonna be enjoyable? I mean, it's up to that person to decide for themselves, right? Whether it's enjoyable or not. But I think for the vast majority of people, you're gonna probably want a group of people to, you know, be able to do things with, to be able to converse with, you know? And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. So that's why I always encourage people to try to find guilds. Discord communities, specifically. Because guild system in this game is kind of weird. Guilds are not like how they are in your typical MMO. They're mostly just a donation bloodstone generator. The real guild comes from the Discord link that you get from people. But that's sort of my opinion in the whole thing. We're done with this. Let's head on back over to Topical Tuesday. Let us see what else we got here. Goodbye, my beloved. Procal. As somebody who did Procal on literally every character, man, I miss him, but also I don't miss him. It's fun, but also frustrating at the same time. I think overall the new Brelshaza gate changes are very, very good, and I have little complaints. Lost Ark is the most streamed game on Twitch, such a good site. I mean, yeah, that's cool that it still can spike up that high in viewers when, like, new raids come out and people are trying to world first. I think it's cool. Theomine, I haven't looked at much, but I know it's pretty wild. Again, if you're not familiar with how I do things, I typically try not to follow Korean stuff too closely. I get a vague idea of what's going on, but I don't, like, you know, study it down in a notebook. A friendly reminder for veterans joining Jumpstart to not be toxic. Totally have the right to join Jumpstart for whatever reason. Most people will be new to the game or new to raids. Expect jails if you're pugging. Yeah. I completely agree. I think if you are an unpleasant person to talk to in general, you probably shouldn't be on Jumpstart. Yeah. I think that just really sums it up. Jumpstart experience. I'm not going to click on the why REEEEEEEECLEAR groups on Jumpstart because we pretty much already covered that. Jumpstart experience. See gatekeeping post on Reddit. Decide to make newbie learning group for Gate 1 and 2 Brel. Group fills fast. Ask if anyone needs a refresher or it's their first time. We start raid. Ask again if anyone's new or needs time to watch a video. Nothing. Not even an emoji. Proceed to have multiple deaths at dogs from people eating ords, randomly dying, and spending God knows how long at 2 bosses each side. Fail 85 mech multiple times, end up with 2 to 4 people alive, restart due to not making an rage timer. After 3 restarts, I begin to call people out on their mistakes, explain the mech. Somebody asks to stop raid, spam the Jill Makoko event, raid disbands. I contemplate why I did this in post on Reddit. Yeah, this is also very frustrating. Though I would say I would have stopped right here when you asked if anybody needs a refresher or if it's their first time and you got no replies. Generally, people who are not willing to speak at all are not the kind of people you want in your group. Just being able to communicate simple things like yes or no is pretty important, because if somebody's trying to explain something to you, not everybody can understand it the same way. So if I explain something and then I ask, okay, do you understand that? I need a yes or a no, you know what I mean? Because if you say no, then I will try again in a different way to explain it. Or we can just run it down. Running it down is always a good way to, you know, figure it out. But the point is, I have to kind of know where you're at in the learning process, and not saying anything does not help. Biggest indicator that a run isn't going to go well, yeah, ask if no replies. Yeah, if nobody replies, you just find new people. I advise anybody considering making a learning Makoko group, save yourself time by not taking people who are not willing to talk. Yeah, I agree. Try to find people to join a Discord server, even if it's just to listen. I've done it plenty of times over text. I'm not a big talker. Popular belief, maybe I am quite talkative, but I'm not super talkative. Very introverted, I like to keep to myself, and I typically only talk to make these videos for you guys. But, yeah, Discord is a good option if you are so inclined. No reply players are usually the jailer, yeah. Just reading those comments here, nothing too crazy. Gold River single-handedly digging Lost Ark out of the ground to be like, and it's a SteamDB chart showing that Lost Ark is gaining players. Yeah, not a surprise. I'm glad to see it. We will see how long it continues. I hope that the game continues to go in the right direction. I think... I mean, I don't really know a perfect number of players, so to speak, but I mean, the more the better. That's all I can really say. It's always nice to see players returning, also nice to see them stick around. Yeah, completely agree. I think it's very importante, as I have discussed many times on this channel. I think our last post of the week is going to be this, Gripes of Intermediate Level Players, a Lesser Seen Perspective. I wanted to show my view of the game and direction that developers are moving in. I think there's plenty of commentary of this game from new players and veterans, but not enough is said from us intermediate players. This is not a doomer post, I'm not complaining about anything here, just trying to spread awareness for people like me and my experience with the game thus far. What is an intermediate level player? I'll share my roster. Roster 150, all-important runes, skill points, ignias, omnium, giant hearts. Average collectible 70%. LOS 18. Main is 1545 Deathblade. Bard 1525, Pally 1520. 4 other DPS alts at 1490 that don't get played anymore. Been playing since 6 months after release. You work full-time and then some. You play an average of 5 hours a week. Most of the time, you only do Chaos Dungeons on your main. You love the raids and you do what you have time for. I don't have a problem with FOMO, just want to play the game and enjoy the fights. Here's where it gets interesting. SG slash AGS keep raising the floor for new players. HyperExpress to 1540, Jumpstart to 1415, Free Honing to 1490. The new player swarm is basically at my level. What happens when they keep lowering the barrier to entry? Players like me get grouped in with the new players and no one trusts that, yes, this is my 1000th time doing Clown and I know how this fight works. Remember back in the day when I had a 6-man gold running Oster? Main was at 1490, starting Brawl, all the others at 1445, farming Argos, Vault, and the Vikings for gold with about 60 gold income per week. I was able to save up for a precious level 10 Surge Gem for my main, then patch after patch, the incentive was to get new players up to speed, Vault and Gold nerfed, Gold to Hone moved up to 1460, then 1475, now 1490. Vicus Gold nerfed. Each patch, I felt the consequences as my ult would be denied over and over again. The lobbies filled up with Newkokos symbols, and no one trusted the next player. I tried to hone my ults up at least 15 eye levels above the rate I wanted to do. I spent the gold to outfit every character to 5x3s with decent quality. I put the best title they had on, all in an effort to try to show that, hey, I'm not new, this is clearly an ult, I know what I'm doing. Eventually, I abandoned my DPS ults because as funny as they were, the upkeep was simply too much, a slap in the face for all my troubles. Now they sit at 1490 collecting dust where any new player can get to protectively for free. I feel like I'm clawing my way into lobbies. Getting PLC title this week will save me for a bit, I hope, at least until the next patch. My guildie who plays similar amounts to me hasn't made it to 1540 yet. This patch branded him with a shiny new Makoko symbol. We've been at this game for a year now, and now he gets instant denied for the Makoko, and I get insta-kicked for trying to vouch for a Makoko. By God, we're just doing clown, only 50 item levels over geared. Okay. There's a lot to sort of dissect here. So I understand the frustration here, because you have significant amounts of horizontal that most people are going to take months to achieve. Like, runes, skill points, igneas, omnium, giant hearts. That shit takes time. No matter how you slice it. Even if you're, like, a hardcore XXXX gamer, this is gonna take some time. And obviously, you're like a normal person who works a lot, and then you just play a little bit on the side when you have free time. So you play 5 hours a week on average. That's not, you know, it is what it is. You enjoy the game how you enjoy the game. But this puts you in a weird spot, especially for Lost Ark, because I think the idea for Western Lost Ark, obviously, is to catch up with the Korean version, or at least get very close to it. So they've hyper-accelerated us through the content that Korea has already gotten, meaning our progression has kind of just been go, 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 go the entire time we've been playing the game. From launch up until now, there hasn't really been any, like, significant rest period where there's just, like, nothing going on. It's always something else that you're working towards, something significant, either gear-wise, system-wise, whatever it may be. And if these catch-up mechanics did not exist, then newer players just straight up literally wouldn't exist. Because the amount of people who do the older content is few and far between already. Sometimes you'll see, like, super giga juice lobbies for, like, Vicus and Vulcan. But for the most part, you're probably not going to be able to get into a run unless you're doing it on a massively overgeared character, or like a card run or whatever. And I think they're going in the right direction by nerfing the older raids that are kind of pointless, just to make it easier for the newer players, a little less punishing. Things like removing Vicus Gate 1, making things a little bit easier. I think this is all good and positive, because for the old players who don't do it anymore, it doesn't matter. It only matters for new players. Yes, it doesn't need to be nerfed in terms of difficulty in order to clear it, but it's an unnecessary thing that people need to get past, I guess is what I should say. Because Vicus is essentially meaningless. So if you have to spend all that time learning Vicus, because I don't know about you guys, but to learn a raid to where I say I'd feel very comfortable doing, I mean, it takes quite a few runs. I think it's a bit unreasonable. Especially when it's a raid like Vault and Vicus. They're only going to run it maybe once or twice, and that's it. Obviously, depending on how that person plays the game, maybe they're going to run it more, maybe they're going to run it less. But, sort of get that idea. It is interesting. And I definitely understand the frustration, but I also see the need for how they're accelerating the progression and keeping the catch-up mechanics, I mean, relevant, right? It's hard, man. The mid-user experience is one of Gold River's main concerns at the moment, according to his most recent live stream. Serious problem in KR especially, and there's a very sizable casual player base. Yeah. This is why we need more solo content. Have a Procal fight you can do for extra brawl mats to make your gear, or have honing materials, set increases silver bi-weekly or something. More solo progression. I think more solo progression would help, but I don't think it would solve everything. Unfortunate consequence of us getting content at a much faster pace. Yeah, this is sort of what I was saying. We've had like half the time to gear up. G6 normal Brawl, 1490 Clown, Hard Vault, and Vicus are all reachable day one as a free-to-play single character without busing. Now, Akon and Voldus normal is the standard, if not out of reach for more casual players. We have the latest Express KR has 18 or so months faster. Even Theamine Road ends at 1580 per presentation, unclear full details. The upside is we are caught up basically, so no more creep afterward. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I do think it will chill out eventually. Maybe we're at that point. Maybe we still have a couple more patches to go. Who's to say? I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching this week's Topical Tuesday. I appreciate each and every single one of you. As always, like the video, dislike, comment, all that good stuff, algorithms, subscribe, etc. Thank you to all my YouTube members. It's Biscuits, Inder, Diz, Clouded, Jane, fuck. Remix my life. That's the word I was looking for. God damn it. My brain just kind of shut off. My tier 2s, Remix my life. I'm Nufu, Arizike, Peachy, Jacob. And Blitzel. Brother Chris out. I was taking a sip of water, because God knows I need it. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.